This is my contemporary artist Ho Suh. Here on my first slide I have 4 images of Ho Suh and some art pieces. The first image at the top left is an art piece from Almost Home, which I later on talk about more in detail. The second image at the bottom left is an image of Ho Suh himself posing in front of one of his work of art. The third image at the top right is Ho Suh again, but this time you can see he is in action as he holds a pencil in his hand. And lastly, the fourth image at the bottom right is 2 art pieces that Ho Suh created using gauzy fabrics. My contemporary artist that I chose is a man named Ho Suh. Ho Suh was born in South Korea in 1962, where he later on in life got his Bachelor in Fine Arts and Master of Fine Arts at the Seoul National University. Ho Suh is a contemporary Korean artist who is known for his fabric sculptures, outdoor installations, and hand-drawn drawings, which he illustrates into a very modern way. While looking up Ho Suh and his work on art, what I found most interesting about his work is how much detail he adds to each and every piece of art that he makes. Also, a writer named Anna talks about Ho Suh's sculptures in general and says how his drawings represent architectural drawings, which I agree that this is a connection that can be made about his work, which I also found interesting that he does. On the screen I have 3 images. In the center I have an image of Ho Suh himself. At the top I have an image of a hand-drawn drawing by Ho Suh that shows a house with legs. And the bottom is an example of an architectural drawing that Ho Suh created. Ho Suh, when working on art pieces, is known for working with sheer and gauzy fabric materials. In addition, a specific quality, from what I can tell, right away when looking up Ho Suh uses really bright neon colors for his art pieces, especially into his sculptures. When looking up Ho Suh, I noticed his main idea / driven force for his art pieces is that he uses a lot of home ideas for his inspiration. That is from his own life that he puts into his artworks. The 3 artworks I will be talking about in the next couple of slides all represent home for him and home pieces. Here on the screen I have 2 examples. One at the top that shows a red neon staircase is an example of the bright colors that he uses, and the bottom that shows 2 door handles is an example of him using sheer and gauzy fabric materials. This first art piece by Ho Suh is called Ghostly. This type of art piece is a sculpture made using translucent fabric, which Ho Suh is known for using. Some background information about this art piece is that it is a replica of Ho Suh's 2 homes that he used to live in, which he shows one inside the other. Here are 2 images that show a closer look of Ghostly. The second art piece by Ho Suh is called Almost Home. This type of art piece is a 3D sculpture which is also made with translucent fabric, and every piece that is used was inspired from past places that he lived in from all around the world. Almost Home was one of Ho Suh's first art pieces that entered an exhibition in the East Coast. Almost Home is a very large art piece, so here are more images of that piece of art. This third and last art piece by Ho Suh is called Bridging Home. This type of art piece is an outside installation located in the city of London, which is a replica of a traditional Korean house. Bridging Home is Ho Suh's first large-scale outdoor piece of art. Here are two images that will show you a closer look of Bridging Home. While looking up Ho Suh, I noticed he is criticized in positive ways, specifically from writers Holland and Johnson from the New York Times. Writer Holland talks about an art piece called Greater New York and says how he can't keep that image out of his mind. And writer Johnson talks about Ho Suh's art in a positive way by saying comments such as, "He has outdone himself, a wonderful blend, and his loving attention to detail." Here are my 10 sources that I used throughout my presentation. I hope you all learn more about Ho Suh and his artwork. Thank you and have a good day.